Hey guys, I wanted to share my experience with cryosurgery, cervical cryosurgery, because I couldn't find anything online, really anywhere, any forums or social media, YouTube, anywhere that really had just a simple easing explanation or experience that was available to watch um, from anyone else. So I thought, since it's still fresh, I might as well just share with you how it was for me. So I'll hop into it right now and just say that I was super, super nervous to have this done today, especially after having the colposcopy done, because I did not prepare myself for that. I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I just figured, I'm sure it's kind of like a pap smear. You know, I've delivered 4 babies, I've had pap smears, I've had a lot of things happen down there. So, what I experienced with the colposcopy was not even uh, really on my radar of experiencing, and it was kind of traumatic for me because I wasn't prepared for it. So, I was really, really trying to prepare myself for the cryosurgery. Um, and it was another one of those things I had no idea what to expect. Um, so I was nervous and I went in today and this first thing I sat down and I was like, I'm really nervous. And the assistant just said, it's really not that bad. Most people don't experience a lot of pain. It's not a big deal. And I asked, well, the colposcopy was really threw me off because it was painful. She was like, oh yeah, this is nothing compared to that. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll see. So the procedure lasts, it's less than 10 minutes. So the most uncomfortable thing is that the thing that opens you up, I forget what it's called, the speculum. The speculum that they use to open you up is bigger because they want to make sure when they put the tool inside of you and start the cryotherapy that it's not going to burn or freeze anything else. So they want to open you up really well so that it's out of the way. I would say that was the most uncomfortable thing out of the whole process, just because it just feels like something uncomfortable holding you open. But again, not painful at all, just a little bit of pressure. And then he put the little tool inside of you, or inside of me. He put the tool inside of me, and it's like this long stick gun thingy. So it has the handle for him, and then it's a long stick, and then at the end it's has a little circle that goes over your cervix. I didn't feel that at all. And then he turned on the nitrogen, and you hear a little hiss. And then it starts, and they start the timer for 5 minutes, and for 5 minutes it's freezing your cervix. And it wasn't bad at all. It felt like very, 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 very slight period cramps, perhaps, like, when your cervix kind of feels a little pressure when you're starting your period. It felt like that, and I was like really relieved. And he was like, how are you doing? I was like, fine, I feel good so far, not wanting to jinx anything, like what pain is coming next. And he said that this is pretty much it. So if you're good now, you won't be in any more pain. This is the process. This is it. So I was really relieved when that happened. So it stayed on for 5 minutes, and then he did warn me beforehand that just as you would lick a popsicle and your tongue might stick to it, that the tool he's using after the 5 minutes might be stuck. So it'll take just a little bit until it defrosts enough to release on its own and unfreeze so that he can remove the tool. which did happen afterwards. It was just like maybe a minute of waiting for it to get warm enough to undo itself. And then he wanted to zap the spot on my cervix that was where the lesion was. He wanted to do maybe like a minute more, just doing quick bursts to zap it a little extra just to make sure it's really all taken care of. So he did that afterwards, and then it was done. I would say, again, the whole procedure took less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes of it on, one more zap, and then the prep before. Yeah, it was simple. It was easy squeezy, and I felt fine during and afterwards. Walking to my car, I did notice I started to feel like the crampy sensations around my cervix as if I were on my period, but I would say that's all it's been all day long, is just that cramping feeling, but very, very mild. Like I haven't even thought about taking Tylenol again. And that's what I did, take 2 Tylenol beforehand. I could not take Advil or any sort of ibuprofen because I am dealing with an ulcer. So I asked, is Tylenol an alternative that I can take? He said yes. So I took 2 of those, and I haven't had to think about taking any more since my procedure, which was done at 9 o'clock this morning. And it's about 2 p.m. now. So it's right about the time where I can think about taking more medicine, but I don't have to because it's really not that bad. The things that I'm experiencing is basically what you will read if you Google what happens afterwards, and it's just a lot of watery discharge right now. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And then I go back. I guess this watery discharge will occur for at least 3 weeks and up to 6 to 8 weeks, I think this lasts for. And then I go back to the gyno for another pap smear in 4 months to double check that things have resolved, that I don't have any more abnormal cells. And I first had my abnormal pap smear done, or I got an abnormal pap result over 10 years ago, maybe more than 11 years ago, maybe 11 or 12 years ago. And I had never had a colposcopy. No one ever said, hey, you need to have this done. I did have pap smears done more routinely after that, and sometimes they would come back normal. And so because they were coming back normal, but yeah, because they were coming back normal, I didn't think anything of it. I still had the test for what would come back would be HPV still, so my body never cleared it. But by the time I had this appointment to have this pap smear done, I had abnormal cells again, which led to the colposcopy, which led to the findings of SIN3, which is the highest grade of precancer cells, like one step away from cancer. So I'm really, really relieved that it was caught, but I am wondering, if I were to have had a colposcopy done back at the first abnormal pap smear, would this have been found at a lower grade, and would we have been able to take steps to resolve it? Because it was pretty surprising that I had a SIN3 when I've been going for my pap smears routinely for the last decade, not skipping, yeah, it was just surprising to me how, I guess if I didn't have anything in the past, what I'm surprised about is how quickly it formed, especially since I had a pap smear done a year prior, or a year and a half prior, and everything was normal. So the fact that I had a pregnancy, delivered my child, since then, and then went back for my pap smear that I was due for, and then this was found was pretty wild to me. So I know that every video you watch about these types of things, like precancer cells and pap smears and HPV and all this stuff, they say get your pap smears done, but I'm going to drill it in one more time. Get your pap smears done when you're supposed to have them done. Don't think, oh, well, a couple more months or I'll do it next year or whatever. Won't do any harm, I'm telling you now. I go routinely for mine, and this one was it definitely caught me off guard. So go get your pap smears done. And if you do have to have a colposcopy done, take your Advil beforehand. I didn't take any medicine before that one, and I really wish I would have. And also do be prepared that if you have to have a biopsy done, it pinches a little. It's not comfortable at all. You do bleed afterwards. And the vinegar is awful. Okay, so know that. But you'll get over it and you'll be fine. And if you have to have cryosurgery done, it is a walk in the park. Absolutely nothing to fear at all. And the doctor does say that after this, about 90% of his patients, it's resolved. They don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'm going to be going back in 4 months for a pap smear to make sure everything's solid, and then have more frequent pap smears to extra precaution, make sure everything is still good down there. And yes, I am praying that this takes care of the abnormal cells and my body can finally get over this and I don't have to worry about this anymore. But I will always make sure to go to my pap smear appointments whenever I'm due for one, because when you're faced with having an issue on your beloved lady bits, it's scary and it's not fun to think about. Yeah, so that's all. Just a quick little video to let you know it's not bad at all. At all. It's fine. So if you're worried about your upcoming procedure, don't even worry about it. It is a walk in the park. All right, good luck and take care of your precious body.